everyone, Brad Johnson here. In this video we're going to be talking about stimulating the pineal gland. So there's a lot of internet videos out there that will talk about the pineal gland and how to activate it. The whole idea in that sense is that the pineal gland in its own way is already in a state of activation. It's more so in the idea that you are attempting to stimulate it. It's kind of like looking at our own muscles in our body. That when we go to the gym, we're not trying to activate those particular muscles. We're stimulating them, we're allowing them to grow, we're taking care of them so that they can work for us much more better. Well, the same thing is happening with the pineal gland. So again, we have the itty bitty little pineal gland in a circular head here. But basically, again, we're just attempting to allow it to become worked out. We're giving it exercise, and that's the purpose of this video, is looking at some different types of techniques that we can do to help stimulate the pineal gland. So, some people have talked about, for the example, of sun gazing. And sun gazing can be a very powerful option in regards to allowing the pineal gland to be stimulated. Even just going outside in the sun, being able to expose yourself to the sun for a good amount of time. Not feeling that it only needs to be 10 or 20 minutes. That again is more so of a myth unless you're on like some type of heavy medication. But just going outside on a sunny day, even if it's a cloudy day with some sunshine breaking through, that's very good as well. But sun gazing is done primarily in the very early morning hours, just as the sun starts to rise, and of course in the later hours, just when the sun is starting to set, and being able to gaze at the sun and allowing that purification of the rays of the sun's energy to come through, and again, stimulating the pineal gland. That's one particular way. If you feel that maybe you're not a super early morning person that wants to get up at the break of dawn, or maybe there's some other things that are happening around sunset, there's another option you can use relating to crystals. And I just happen to have a small crystal here. And again, through this example of just taking a very simple quartz crystal and leaving it out on a sunny day. So leaving it on your windowsill, being able to take it outside, leaving it on a rock, leaving it in your backyard, etc. And just allowing it to be charged for a full day. Once you do that, you've charged the crystal for at least a full day. You now just start to use this crystal and place it upon your brow. And just going into a nice relaxing state. If you want to feel that you want to take a little bit of tape and tape it here, you can do that. Or you can just lay down and just place this crystal upon your brow chakra and just going into a deep relaxing state. Basically what's going to happen is that as crystals themselves are life forms, they are living organisms. You are basically taking the energy from all the sunlight that has been incubated into this crystal, and you're allowing that sunlight energy to become stimulated with your own brow chakra. I usually recommend this as a high form of option. Again, sun gazing is great, but utilizing in this way, you're actually bringing in some really great personal focused stimulation through the sunlight and actually allowing that energy to again further stimulate the brow chakra, the third eye chakra, the pineal gland. Okay, so that's one particular option as well too. Utilizing sun gazing, utilizing crystals. How about another thing? Well, we can look into the idea of inversions. And so if you're really into inversions, this is a great pineal gland stimulator. Just being able to hang upside down like this and allowing the blood rush to your head, nothing is more invigorating if you really want to stimulate that pineal gland. Love it when my world's upside down. Yoga does this a lot. Being able to see us do, handstands, being able to just have your feet against the wall, just being able to allow your body to become inverted and allowing blood flow to rush to the head. That again is another particular type of pineal gland stimulation. So, inversions is a big one. What's another particular option we can do to stimulate the pineal gland? Darkness. Alright? No, I'm not talking about you working with your shadow selves, although that's important, but it's being in an area that could also be, in another way, sensory deprivation. not everybody has this availability, but there are certain businesses that are opening up that actually allow kind of like chambers where you're going inside and you're actually having your sensory perception deprived. So basically there's nothing really in the chamber that will cause any particular type of distraction to the senses, so it's sensory deprivation. This is a very, very powerful one. So utilizing the idea of sensory deprivation. So you can't see, you can't smell, you can't taste, you can't touch, you can't hear. All of those senses are blocked out. Another again option is just being in a room filled with darkness, having a pitch black room that is as quiet as possible, or just being able to place a blindfold upon yourself in an already pretty much dark room and just sitting in that particular space for a certain amount of time. Now, a lot of particular types of practices involve actually sitting in a dark room and just allowing yourself to be alone with your thoughts. There's no particular types of stimulation. This is actually allowing your body to no longer have any particular types of vital processes that are happening, eating a lot of food or doing a lot of thinking or analysis, etc. When you're in this type of sensory deprivation, this is what can stimulate the pineal gland as well, because you are alone with your own mind. You are alone with your own thoughts. You are alone with the idea of the imagery that can come forward, and that is a very big pineal stimulation. Okay? And speaking of imagery, that's another thing that you can do. So, imagery, abstract, light, color, shapes. This again is another big one in being able to allow stimulation within the pineal gland. Closing your eyes and just being able to see all these colors, all these different forms of rays of light that you can imagine. Being able to see simple shapes, starting off with one-dimensional lines, two-dimensional shapes, three-dimensional objects, landscapes, etc. And just being able to work with your own creative visualization through imagery. Okay, that's another one. So we have quite a few already that we can play with here, and all of these are fantastic to allow pineal stimulation to take effect. What else can we do? Well, we do also stimulation. We stimulate the pineal gland. We stimulate the third eye chakra. Okay? Being able to stimulate the pineal gland with this. So again, this is the back massager. This is something I got just a few weeks ago. I just got it from a local department store for about 30 bucks, I think. And this is just a simple back massager with an extension on it that feels good when I'm actually putting this onto the brow chakra. And just being able to leave it on again for about 5, 10, 15 minutes with whatever you feel you can stand. So I just basically crank it to max power. Feels good. Alright, and I'm just basically putting it right here. So, that is basically what you're doing for, again, 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you feel is a good tolerable range for yourself, and being able to use this to stimulate the pineal gland as well. What is another really great technique is earthing or grounding yourself, but being able to involve yourself very heavily with nature, and of course being able to do meditation as well. And this will also help to stimulate the pineal gland, being outside in the sunshine, sitting down on the grass and earthing yourself, helping to remove the bombardment of these other hostile frequencies that are not good for our bodies. The more that we can do this as well, the more that this will start to bring some great benefits, not only to pineal gland stimulation, but of course to our bodies overall. So again, utilizing a back massager, vibrating and stimulating the area of your brow chakra, and of course, being able to ground, earth yourself. These are great benefits to pineal gland stimulation and of course overall great health. Very simple technique, just being able to do this. Keeping your eyes closed and doing this for about 15 to 20 minutes per day. It's a lot, but again it takes its toll relating to stimulating the pineal gland. Okay, we also have diet. Alright, here we are in the Reality Whisperer kitchen. And what I wanted to show everybody was this. And this is chaga mushroom. So again, you kind of look at it and it looks like coal in that particular way, but these actually come off birch trees. Now I actually specially ordered this from our website, as I'm Canadian, then I basically go to chaga.ca. But basically what I do is when I get these delivered to me, I take out about 20 of these nuggets and I place them into a crock pot, so a slow cooker. And I basically put about 2.5, maybe 3 liters of water, purified water, into it, and I just let it sit overnight. So I basically give it about 12 to 15 hours of slow cooking time, and I continue to have it on, because the more that you can have this slow cooked throughout the days, more of the nutrients are going to be extracted. But this is what I've highly recommended, just talking on Facebook with other people, is looking into chaga tea and being able to make chaga into this beautiful tea, and it tastes really good. It's kind of like a nice vanilla-esque kind of taste to it, but I also add small things to it as well too. That'll help. I use coconut sugar, just has a little bit more of a sweetener to it, but it's really great. This is what I'd really highly recommend. So again, just do a Google search and discover where you feel that you can get some chaga. And again, it is a really great tea, if you want to make it into a tea, that will really help to boost and stimulate the pineal gland. So that is chaga tea. So what kind of foods are good for the pineal gland? Okay, well, we can look at a lot of foods that are good with melanin intake. Okay, so we're looking at something like chaga mushrooms. Chaga itself is a tea that I use quite a bit, and it's actually really helped. Within about 2 weeks of taking the chaga, I can feel that a lot of my own third eye capabilities has skyrocketed, simply because there's a very rich component of melanin that is contained in there as well too. And you can find melanin in many different kinds of common foods. You can find it in your greens, like your kale. You can make smoothies as well too, and utilizing melanin in that particular way. So diet is another particular way. But I feel if everybody out there is okay with mushrooms, look into chaga. Okay. Chaga would be my highest recommendation. It is an amazing booster that allows a lot of great stimulation to take place. So with all this, sun gazing, crystals, inversions, darkness, imagery, stimulation, diet, melanin, what exactly are we attempting to do here, right? Just being able to look at the pineal gland, what is it that we're looking to achieve through all these options? And by the way, one other particular option, before I forget, is of course meditation. That through meditation, we're just being able to focus, stimulate on this area of the pineal gland. So just being able to press your fingers through your brow chakra, against your brow chakra I should say, against your brow chakra for 15 seconds, and then just being able to focus on that sensation through your meditation practice. Deep focus will also assist in helping to stimulate the pineal gland. So meditation is a big one. You can also associate meditation with color vibration, being able to look at third eye in the form of a indigo color, or in the feeling of a oceanic blue. But being able to go back into all this, what are we trying to do? Well, like we mentioned in the early part of the video, we're attempting to build up a muscle, or in this particular way, a gland. So what are the effects that come when we start looking at all of this? Well, we're going to notice that there will be a lot more awareness relating to our extrasensory perception. Our psychic senses are going to start to kick in a lot more. We may feel that we're a lot more empathic. Okay? So being able to detect feelings a lot more through ourselves and through others. Being able to see images. The idea of clairvoyance in that way can increase. The idea of being able to maybe hear something clairaudient, so being able to hear voices within the mind, can come together through a stimulated pineal gland. The improvement of claircognizance, being able to feel the instant downloads in that way, being able to know things instantly, can come together through the idea of the stimulation of the pineal gland. Being able to perform astral projection, astral travel, being able to have more improved lucid dreaming or vivid dreaming is also another particular effect that we create when we stimulate the pineal gland. So we're looking at, again, meditation, stimulating that area for 15 seconds, meditating on it, sun gazing, crystals, inversions, etc. We're just attempting to do any particular type of option, and believe me, there's even more options than what I've laid out here, but again, these are some of the basics. But just being able to create that stimulation, and notice that we're gaining more inner awareness. That's why we do this. We're not thinking that we're going to have magical powers and that we can magically levitate everything and the snap of a finger, things blow up. It's not about that. It's about looking into the idea that we're working more in our inner being. And the pineal gland, everything contained within this wondrous gland, contained within our head, is really taking us on our journey. We're going into interdimensional travel. We're seeing the idea of what has been perceived as fantasy gateways and actually seeing them as reality gateways, looking into different realities, looking into different realms, going into deeper aspects of our own conscious, subconscious, superconscious selves, and starting to take a tour, understanding and exploring everything that the inner being is attempting to tell us. And again, coming through these options, coming through these effects, through the idea of stimulation. Now, if I was to create kind of a weird head right here, if we were to look at right here, being that of the third eye, so we have our physical eyes right here, okay? We actually have more than just a third eye, okay? We have a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We actually have 12 dimensional eyes in that particular way. We have 2 physical eyes, we have the brow chakra eye right here, but of course we have more of these. And these move up into the other particular types of spectrums that start again from the indigo ray, moving up into the purple and into the violet rays, even into the pink rays as well too, represent these other particular types of eyes. Now this is actually something that was bestowed upon me when I was doing a meditation not too long ago, just letting me know that there are more eyes than the idea of just the third eye. But the third eye is the catalyst. It is allowing itself to become the active quotient so that you are now able to eventually at some point stimulate these extra eyes as well too. So again, those are eyes that can unfold and represent different forms of dimensional boundaries, different forms of interdimensional gateways, again, open reality gateways, helping us to understand more about reality. Some of it that can't even be perceived, some of it that is just so intangible, so irrational, that we can't even really put a relationship on it. I have felt that there's been certain forms of activations happening through myself. If I was to put a figure on it, it'd probably be close to maybe about my 5th or 6th eye, I would say. And just being able to look at these realms of light, look at these realms of color, listening to nature a lot more, listening to the earth a lot more, and seeing that these particular types of additional eyes correspond to the catalyst of the third. So that's a little bit of food for thought right there. But again, we're building a muscle, we're stimulating this. So look into all of these areas that you feel are going to be personally helpful for you, to helping you go into your own state of inner awareness, helping you realize that the pineal gland is a very incredible technology. It's a technology, an organic technology that exists within ourselves, and it opens us up into different worlds. And so the more that we can work through these options to helping ourselves stimulate ourselves, to looking into our own inner self-awareness, we're going to see a world more wondrous rather than what we're just always seeing through these 2 physical eyes. These are just, a cookie crumb relating to the true state of perception that can come together when we start to stimulate this very, very popular gland inside our mind. So have fun, enjoy this particular type of experience. You're kind of in this nice, safe boundary between having fun with this and taking it seriously, and merge that 2 together. Dance upon the silver lining, right? So enjoy yourself stimulating this incredible little gland inside your head, and enjoy yourself exploring the innerness of you through the options that have been provided here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson. More questions relating to the stimulating of the pineal gland or any other videos on my channel, please feel free to go to realitywhisperer.com and you can drop me a contact email. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Take care. Namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.